أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الأطيبين الأنجبين بهم نتولى ومن أعدائهم نتبرأ إلى الله اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. The topic that we have for tonight is waiting for the Imam alayhi salatu wassalam. And you've heard this term quite a lot, Intedhaar, that is to wait. What does this Intedhaar mean? We'll explore that in the light of ayat and riwayat. What exactly is meant by this Intedhaar? Intedharul Faraj Afdalul A'mal. It has been mentioned in that famous hadith that waiting for the relief, waiting for the Imam alayhi salatu wassalam is known as the best of actions. So intizar means to wait. Now this waiting also has to be understood what exactly it is meant. Does it mean that just waiting in the sense that Imam alayhi salam is coming? Not in this sense that we wait and he comes, that we are just waiting for him and waiting for him to arrive. Now when it is a dark night and we are waiting for the sun, we know that the sun is going to rise to a day. We don't sit in the dark. We get up, we turn the lamp on, we turn the candle on so that we don't sit in the dark. Or for example, when it is cold in the winter or hot in the summer, and we know that soon is going to be spring season or the heat is going to end and it's going to be autumn. So what do we do in that hot summer? We go and sit in a place cooler or turn the fan on, or if there's air conditioning, we make a move towards changing that temperature, towards changing that heat to cold or cold to a little bit getting hotter and warmer, and we make an effort, we make a move. So waiting for the Imam, or for example, if I'm sitting here, I'm looking at the door. I know that someone is going to enter from the door. So I don't move. I just sit in that state and waiting for the door to open and for him to enter. So Intedharul Faraj or Intedhar, waiting for the Imam, means you wait for him. At the same time, you have an effort, like effort towards turning that light on, effort towards making some kind of an arrangement for it to become cooler or warmer. So intizar is in action, and that is what this hadith also says, that afdalul a'mal intizarul faraj, that the best of actions is the waiting for the relief, faraj. So faraj, it's a halat, means a status, like someone sitting and looking at the door. Now, this status that is sometimes understood, it's not in action, just in waiting, and that is not what is required. So an effort has to be made, an action has to be there, and then it will be that intizarul faraj. Or for example, when you see that a child, he wants a bicycle, he thinks that that bicycle is that perfection, and there is nothing more than that for his age. But he grows and then he sees that, no, it should be a motorbike now. He grows that he thinks that perfection is in having a car. Grows even bigger and then he wants a plane now. That is gradually these instincts of man, they keep on changing to that age limit that he was. Now that as he grows, his requirements also, they keep on growing, they keep on increasing, and they are moving towards perfection. Now that is moving towards Kamal, that we all know. Now, for example, intizar is that. Intizar means that I don't sit in the cold, I make an effort towards that heat. Intizar means that I am moving towards perfection, towards Kamal. Intizar, it means that I do not like the present situation. I'm not happy with the present situation. And I want a better situation. For example, this hukumat that we have, that's the only Islamic rule on earth, the concept of wilayat faqih is the rule of the just jurist. So I am a muntazir and I'm waiting for the Imam. It means that I'm not satisfied with this rule. I want a rule which is run by the leadership of an infallible Imam. So even with that concept, I want perfection, that I want a leader, I want an Imam who is infallible and who runs not only that region but who has a universal rule that is moving towards Kamal, moving towards perfection. One of the other things that we learn from this concept of intizar is that should be large. People who are waiting for the Imam alayhi salam, they should be large. They should have a big heart, or as the terms used in Quran say, sadr, that is, people, they shouldn't be getting offended for silly things. Like, for example, he gave them a cup of tea and he gave me a cup of hot water, so that makes me upset, that makes me angry. Or he was invited but I wasn't invited to that, for example, the wedding. Or the way how he greeted me was different to the way how he greeted him. So that is again another means where people, they get offended. So a muntazir, or someone who is waiting for the Imam, he should be large. He shouldn't give importance to all these little silly things, or marriages that break up nowadays, acquaintances that break up, or even these rishtas and mangnis and what, and all these that fall apart for unreasonable reasons. So that is because people, they haven't grown. Example was mentioned the other day, that great alim, being a marja taqleed, how large he was, how great he was, although he was being beaten up, but then he was happy, he was thankful to Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala and counts it as a blessing. So people who are after silly excuses, they cannot be a muntazir. They are stuck in their own affairs, and how can they think large? That someone who is himself stagnant, someone who is himself in his own silly affairs, then he cannot think large, he cannot be universal, he cannot be a muntazir, and that intizar also for him doesn't apply as it should apply. So someone who has chained himself, how can he help another? So we have to come out of these chains and locks that we have applied onto ourselves if we want to be a true muntazir, or someone who is waiting for the Imam. Now, a muntazir, he thinks of everything internationally, universal, large, great. Why? Because the Imam also who is arriving, and he is going to have a universal rule, a global rule. So Imam cannot think regional. He has to think far and beyond regions. We'll talk on that also a little bit. And intizar means a move from my present status to a better status, to a status of perfection, to a status of kamal. Intizar is to complain to object and to raise a voice over global oppression, because we don't like the present situation. So we have to raise a voice, that is intizar. So someone who is waiting for the Imam alayhi salam, he has to be vocal. So intizar is to move from a stagnant state. Intizar is hope in a better future. Intizar is feeling the need of an infallible leader, of a ma'soom Imam. And mankind not being in the hands of an infallible Imam, that is zulm towards humanity. Now when we see the glorious Quran, all these different ayat and all these different statements that we have In Quran, on occasion says خَلَقَ لَكُمْ, that this creation, this universe, it has been created for you. خَلَقَ لَكُمْ. Or elsewhere says سَخَّرَ لَكُمْ, that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He has disposed everything in this creation for you. Elsewhere in another ayah says, and has been mentioned repeatedly, it says مَتَاعًا لَكُمْ. مَتَاعًا لَكُمْ means everything is provisions for you. So disposed for you, created for you, a provision for you. So everything is for me. Then what am I for? Then in another ayah says مَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسِ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. So everything has been created for me. So mankind has been created to be obedient to God, has been created to be a servant of God. Now, if you put these ayat together and see it in this way, that God created the universe for man and has asked man to be his servant, to be obedient to him, and now he puts my hand, that is the hand of a human being or hand of man, in the hands of, for example, Bin Salman, MBS. And now he wants me to get to God. Everything has been created for me, and I've been asked to be a servant, to be obedient to him, and my hand has been given in the hands of Yazid, and he expects me to get to him via the hand of Yazid. That will not happen. That is not possible. So this present situation that we have is the worst of situations. Now they say that we are in the postmodern era and the era of civilization. Now when you look into this civilization that they talk about, it's just rubbish and just a bluff. Civilization today is the worst of savagery of human history. For example, just to get some idea of what exactly is being meant, for example, the petroleum that we have in the Middle East, of Saudi, of the UAE, of all these Gulf states, they buy it, they sell it, and they buy arms from the West. And with that, they kill the people in Yemen, the Muslims in Yemen. And the superpowers, arrogant, they don't say anything, they are quiet. And all the nations also, they have to shut up. They don't say anything, not allowed to utter a word. So, and they call it a postmodern era, civilization. So anything worse than this? Now when we look back into this postmodern era that we are living in, which is wild in attitude, and we've seen these recently, especially after this lockdown, locally, globally, internationally, in airports, how everything is being stolen from one place, one country, and from another. Or in this postmodern savagery, and compare it with the era of ignorance, era of Jahiliyyah, that is pre-Islam, you would say that in Farsi they say Sad Rahmat, and that was blessed, that era, much better than what we are in. Then some crazy man, he would take a dagger and knock someone down due to ignorance, due to jahalat. Unlike today, a person, he'll come out, he'll explode himself in a mosque, in weddings, in schools. Hundreds of people are killed instantly. Or all these chemical and biological weapons that devastate and have been devastating and are devastating even now. Not one, not two, tens of thousands of Allah's beautiful creations. And all in the name of civilization. Then it was just the girls who were being buried alive. And that also because they thought they are unfortunate, unlucky. So they buried their daughters who were born, they buried them alive. But now in this modern era of Jahiliyyah, not girls, both boys and girls are aborted. They used to bury them alive. Now they are flushed down the toilets. So worse than the era of Jahiliyyah that was in the past. So all these wallpapers, you could say, all that they have, these wrappers that they have in the name of modernization, in the name of civilization, tamaddun, etc., all that is fake. So intizar means to see, and in what conditions we are, and what should be done. What should we be doing? So intizar means to believe in the Ma'soom Imam. Intizar means believing and being faithful to the Imam. That is the worth of a human being. That is worthy. That believing in him, being faithful to him, remaining faithful to him. Now, we need a connection from this world that we are on, this earth that we are on, from here to beyond to the skies. That connection is the Imam. Says Imam, he joins the earth to the skies. He joins the arsh to this farsh, to this earth. Quran says, وَحَبْلُ اللَّهِ الْمَتِينَ. Hablullah, the cord of Allah, the strong cord of Allah is the Imam who connects this earth to beyond. Now God, he has created the world for us to eat, to drink, and then to sin. Does it make sense that everything is for me? And then he wants me to consume everything from this planet, from this earth, from this universe, and then also do wrong, do errors, do sin, commit wrong, and then do nothing? So that's going to be useless, that's going to be waste. For that, Quran says, أَفَحَسِبْتُمْ أَنَّمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ عَبَثًا. That is, did you suppose, do you think that we have created you aimlessly? And then in the continuation of that ayah says, وَأَنَّكُمْ إِلَيْنَا لَا تُرْجَعُونَ, and you will not be brought back to us. So there is an aim that has been defined. Intizar means I benefit from every blessing and bounty of Allah. Intizar means I be a servant of His, meaning that I have to be obedient to Him. Intizar means I have to have that faith that I am returning. If I'm returning, then I have a program to observe here. That program is given to us by the Imams, by the Prophets, and based upon that program, I will be rewarded and I will be punished. Now, if you see Allah Ta'ala, He has given us all the food, the fruits, the eatables, the grain, the rice, etc. All of that is on this earth. Now, all these eatables, all this food become the energy which is given to the parents, which changes to a nutfa, which fertilizes as an egg in the mother, grows as a baby, and that baby also is born, and then slowly, gradually he starts walking and talking, grows older and older, and he comes to an age, now he studies, he's in university, he gets married, he has a family, and then there's a downhill also, he gets old, eyes have become weaker, needs glasses, ears, they hear less now, they need an aid, legs are weak, needs a walking stick. There are wrinkles on the face, hair hoary, hair white, falls ill, very ill, and passes away. And again he is buried, changes into dust and earth. And if you say that he's going to recreate again, the whole cycle is going to go on and on without any aim, then there wasn't any need to create man. Like a potter, for example, he makes pottery, he makes a pot and then he breaks it, that changes to clay again, makes again, over and over again, and no insane potter would ever do that. Now here Allah Ta'ala, the Creator, He has created with an aim. أَفَحَسِبْتُمْ أَنَّمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ عَبَثًا. Do you suppose, do you think that we have created you aimlessly? So there is an aim, and in this creation of Allah, He sent 124,000 prophets. Now all of these prophets, none of them were at ease, none of them lived in comfort. All that hard work, educating, were hurt, were harmed, were killed. Many of them were killed. Imams, all of them were killed. Quran says that so many were killed that يَقْتُلُونَ النَّبِيِّينَ, that is, they used to kill the prophets. Why? because of their efforts, because they were moving in accordance to an aim, a plan that was given to them, an assignment that was given to them by Allah. Elsewhere says that يَقْتُلُونَ الْأَنْبِيَاء, they used to kill the prophets. So many were killed. All of the Imams were killed. So what is the aim that someone like Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, he be killed? Why? Because he had an aim. He was moving according to a plan, an assignment that was given to him. So intizar means to look around, to see the aim, that why were we created. And this story of intizar will be sorted only then when we understand all of this. So intizar means he must have faith that this science and this knowledge, they will not save him. We've got thousands of universities globally, worldwide. The best of universities, they say it's there in the UK or here in the US. The best of universities. If it is the best of universities and people are so highly qualified, then why is there so much of crime? Now, even in this lockdown, when you look into these news, they've got new types of crimes now. Many of these people in the UK, they come dress up as the NHS, social workers, medical workers, and go in and then steal. They say that the crime also, if there are so many universities, then why is there so much of crime? If a vessel is not clean, no matter what you pour in that vessel, it will be contaminated. It will be polluted. The soul has to be cleansed. The soul has to be purified. For the purification of that soul, you need an Imam. You need someone who can guide you. Intizar means waiting for someone who could cleanse you, who could purify you. Intizar means that you find a solution. Now, with all these economists you have, and so many highly qualified people in economy, where does it say that, and why must only one family rule over a nation, the richest countries on earth, and people who have no talent, no perfection, no kamal? Where does it say? Why don't these people who have so much of qualification in economy don't say that Ali Saud shouldn't rule? So where they have no talent, they have no perfection, no kamal, but they have to run a nation. So a university, with all that science, with all that knowledge, they cannot provide an answer to this simple question. If these universities do shut down, also doesn't matter. So with all that qualification, with all that science and knowledge, they don't have an answer to a simple problem, to a simple question. Now people losing hope with they are losing hope with the present human rulers. Now globally, if you see, everyone is upset. No rule, no government has an answer. No one can save them. Everyone is worried, especially after this lockdown. And Hadith says that prior to the zuhur and the return of Imam alayhi salam, every other day you would see that the rules, they are being changed. Governments, they are being changed. Toppling one, being installed by another. All these different parties say this one cannot do it, that one will do it. And they find out that none of them are worthy to rule. None of them are worthy to govern. None of them can give answers to the problems and doubts you have. Every tribe will rule, and they will come to this conclusion that they cannot do it. This is not their job. And ultimately they will wait for a rule, for someone who will come and who will install this establishment and govern the system, rule with justice. Now you've seen these weightlifters. You give them some weight, after a certain weight they cannot lift it. They keep trying, but they can't do it. If we are, for example, someone comes and gives me a lamb and says that you slaughter it and you share it among yourself equally, we can't do it. Equally, we can't do it. We'll do some portions of that here and there and give to one another, but equally that is not possible. For that, only and only it is the Imam alayhi salam who has to do. Now we cry so much for Fadak of Hazrat Fatima alayhi salam, and we say that. Now all this is a lesson to myself, to you brothers and sisters, a reminding. We cry on Hazrat Fatima. We say that her right was seized away, the right wasn't given to her. We also do the same. We also don't. Now then, the people of that time, they did not give the right of Fatima to her. People of this time do not give the right of the son of Hazrat Fatima alayhi salam to him, which is khums. They don't pay that. So what's the difference? Then it was fadak that was seized away. Now it is khums and zakat, which is the right of the Imam, which is being seized away. So we are the same. We should cry on ourselves first. Now, intizar means that we have to correct ourselves. All the flaws that we have, they need to be fixed. Now, if a doctor is inquired, if you ask, if any one of you is a doctor here, if I ask you that out of all these prescriptions that you have given out throughout your life, has any patient ever objected on what you have prescribed? Has that patient ever said to you, what is this tablet you gave me? Why a tablet? Why not a capsule? Why is this tablet round? Why is it stretched? Why is it round? Why is it oval? Or did he ever say you, why do you want me to get a blood test done? Why an image be done? We don't do that. And how much has he studied? He's done his master's, he's got his degree in MBBS, he's a doctor, and maximum he may have been studying for 12 or 14 or 15 years. You honor his prescription. You don't ask why. Now, if God says offer a 2 rakat prayer, all these doubts and questions will start. Why 2 rakat? Why in the morning? Why not more than 2 rakat? And why do I have to pray? Your heart has to be clean. Or hijab should be in your heart, in your eyes, not, and you don't need to cover. And all these nonsense and all these questions now being raised and objections to who? The creator of this universe, who knows everything, what I am going through, who knows everything, what's going to happen, what has happened. He, with his intention, brought everything into this existence. We don't accept his prescription or the rulings that he has given out as much as we honor the prescription given by a doctor who has qualified, who has studied for 12 or 15 years. So intizar means to find a solution. Intizar means to fix ourselves. Or this company that makes these plane engines here, why do they make them? Does anyone ever ask them, you've made these fighter jets, you put all these engines in them. Why? Where do you want to bomb? Who do you want to kill? So all these are simple questions that we need, that are in our minds. We need a solution. That why is everything happening? So intizar means that we fix ourselves, we fix our thoughts, we fix the society, we fix the wrong, we fix the errors in us. Now, if a student, he is passing by and the teacher is also sitting there, I've seen many of these incidents, and you ask that student, your teacher was sitting there, why didn't you greet her? Says, yeah, but this semester she is not my teacher. So that is lack of adab, lack of respect. Something is lacking over there. Intizar means all these flaws should be fixed. Intizar means that you find a solution. Intizar means that this creation, all of it belongs to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Lahul mulk wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. Lahul mulk means this creation, this kingdom belongs to him. Yeah, what about you? Does it belong to you as well? Yeah, he has given some things to me. It may be mine. I also may have some kind of a possession. But the difference between you, my possession, and what he has, وَهُوَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٍ. He can do everything. He has power over everything. If I have something but I don't have power over anything, even on that little thing that I will be having, I don't have power over that. Now, problems, they emerge. Even if we all get together, we cannot solve them. So we need someone. Intezar means that we need someone who can help, who can help find a solution, who can guide me, who can lead me, who can take me out of these deadlocks, take me out of these dead ends. That is Intezar. Now, the glad tidings of Zuhur, or the Basharat of Zuhur, we see that it was given even by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So how much do we know? Now, Intezar means to gauge ourselves and see what is wrong and what has to be fixed in us. Our Imams, they were killed. Our Imams, they waited for the Imam alayhi salam, and this hadith from our sixth Imam, he says that لو أدركته لخدمته أيام حياتي. If I perceived my great grandson, that is the 12th Imam, report is being said by Imam as-Sadiq alayhi salam. He says لخدمته أيام حياتي. I will serve him, serve my great grandson for the duration of my life. So Intezar means Imam Mahdi alayhi salam has to be introduced in a good way. Now, you've heard that there's so much of this filth which is being promoted and being said that Imam will come, there's going to be a bloodshed, there's going to be horror, there will be terror. All that is not right. Imam is the existence of mercy, of compassion. Intezar means that we have to introduce this Imam properly, that he is the son of Rasulullah, who is Rahmatun lil Alameen, mercy to the worlds, mercy to the universe, like Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. He will sacrifice himself, but he will not hurt and let harm come towards anyone. This is the same descendant of that same prophet. And here, when the Fath Makkah takes place, the victory of Makkah, and when everyone was returning to Mecca after so many years, after being ousted from Mecca. Now people, the inhabitants of Mecca, they thought that now that the Prophet, he has become stronger, he has so many following, and then he has a rule, he has a hukuma, he is himself now. He's going to come here, now he is the winner. There's going to be a bloodshed. Now, many of these Muslims, they also had these slogans. They were chanting these slogans saying that Al-Yawm Yawmul Malhama, that today is the day of slaughter, Yawmul Malhama. And then Rasulullah says, no, this slogan has to be changed. They did bad to us, we won over them, and it's the victory of Mecca. We are going to our homeland. Al-Yawm Yawmul Marhama. Al-Yawm A'azzallah Quraysha. Today is the day of mercy, day of forgiveness. So that is Rasulullah, that he forgives all those who did bad to him. And Imam al-Asr alayhi salam is also the descendant, the son of the same prophet of mercy. And Imam al-Asr also is that Rahmatun lil Alameen. Now they say that there's going to be bloodshed. Yeah, the bloodshed will be only with those people who are going to fight the Imam, but at large it's going to be peace, it's going to be calm, it's going to be comfort. Now if you see Dua Nudba, which is recited on Fridays, we see that we read that Aina Hasidu Furu al-Ghayyi wa Shiqaq. Yeah, those who are shaqi, those who fought, those who stood, they will be fought. أين هادم أبنية الشرك والنفاق. He will come, he will destroy those associations, those buildings of shirk and nifaq. Not that if someone committed some kind of a sin or a wrong in a room, in a house, in a place, he's going to come and destroy that place. No. Those entities that were entities of fasad, that were entities of corruption, need to be destroyed, he will destroy them. At large, It's going to be peace, it's going to be love, it's going to be care. It's the same kind Imam, like Imam Rauf, Imam Raza alayhi salam. So intizar means no bloodshed, intizar means no killing, intizar means no bitterness. At the same time, that extra lavish living and comfort that everyone thinks is going to be, that is also not going to be. We do have these riwayat that say that intizar and someone who is muntazir, he has a simple livelihood, he has a simple dwelling. So intizar means that all other problems that we face, they should be secondary, and our main concern should be, or that main problem that we should be having, is that the infallible Imam, the Ma'asum Imam, he is absent, he is ghaib. So my problems, they have to be secondary. My main problem and concern should be, why is Imam ghaib? So I should work in that direction, that his ghaibat should be my main concern. Intizar, it means that these secondary problems should not occupy and engage me such that I ignore and I forget the major problem, which is the ghaibat of the Imam. An Imam, he can be identified and known only and only by Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. He has to tell us. Because Imam, he is ma'asum. Or for example, this adalat that we talk about. Adalat means a person has to be adil, meaning that he has to refrain from every haram and he has to perform every wajib, and then you can offer your prayers behind him and he is an adil. Now this adalat, you cannot just find out by looking at someone. If you come and sit and stare at me all day, all night, you won't know if I'm adil or not. Likewise, by looking at the Imam, you cannot find out whether he is adil or whether he is not. That infallibility of an Imam has to be announced, and that has to be informed by Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. He knows, he has to inform, he will have to identify who the Imam is, and that infallible Imam. And we see the ayat of Quran, they also are the same. They say that inni ja'iluka linnasi imama. This rank of imamat, it is given by Allah. He appoints. Or elsewhere says وَجَعَلْنَاهُمْ أَئِمَّةً يَهْدُونَ بِأَمْرِنَا, that we made them the Imams who guide by our command. So Quran says that I have appointed him as an Imam, and I will also identify and make him known to the world who the Imam, who the infallible Imam is. And in this end of time, you'll see that many will pop up and they will claim to be the Isa, they will claim to be the Imam. So we have to be extra cautious in all these fitnas of the end of time that will be seen a lot, as they are being seen even now. So intizar means to work hard and to achieve the content, the pleasure, the joy of the Imam alayhi salam. Intizar means to fix our works. Intizar means to achieve the satisfaction of the Imam. Now, that what we learn from here is that the axis of our actions, they must be the Imam alayhi salam. I do, and I measure the good and the bad that I do with the Imam alayhi salam. So every person, every work, whatever you want, you have to see the style of work of the Imam alayhi salam. As a result, this dua nujba, we have this phrase which says وَارْزُقْنَا رَأْفَتَهُ وَرَحْمَتَهُ, that Allah grant us His joy, His happiness, His pleasure, His contentment, and then His mercy and compassion. So what I do, it should be such that Imam accepts it. Now, for actions we do have, says that you should strive ala qabul al-amal, kunu ala qabul al-amal, that is, you should strive to get these actions accepted by Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. Otherwise, everyone else offers his prayers, his fasts. I've done my duty and I will not be punished for that. But as to whether or not Allah has accepted, that we do not know. Here hadith says that I have to try and to get my actions accepted by Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. And when that action gets accepted, biqabul hasan, that is the mighty achievement, we can say. So actions that we do, we have to work in that direction, that we get the satisfaction and the rida of the Imam alayhi salam. Now intizar, it means that we have to think large, we have to be large. Large meaning that I don't think only for myself or my region or my nation. It has to be large. What we learn in these du'as that we recite in the month of Ramadan, Allahumma adkhil ala ahl al-qubur as-surur. Allah, make them happy, all the dwellers of the grave. The dwellers of the grave of my family, no. The dwellers of the grave, large, everyone. Faithful, faithless, Muslim, non-Muslim, whoever they are, Allah, make them all happy. Allahumma aghni kulla faqir, every needy, every poor, Allah, make them rich. So that is that large that a person has to be when it comes to being a muntazir of the Imam alayhi salam. So intizar means don't be regional, don't be national, not only that community based, no tribal, no language, no caste, no creed. Intizar means be large. Now we see this in Quran as well. The Jews, they used to say that we are the followers of a religion which is so ancient, and we've been following the one God for such a long time. The Muslims also, they came and they said that we are the followers of the most updated version and the most perfect religion, which is Islam, and the Prophet who we follow is also the best of the prophets. Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala reveals this ayah saying that laysa bi amaniyikum, it is neither because of your hopes that you say and or the hopes of the people of the book, wala li amaniyi Ahl al-Kitab. It's neither because of what they say or what they say. So what we have to say is that no regional, no national. So a person has to be large, that he has to think large, and that is the policy of the Imam alayhi salam. That is nuridu أن نمن على الذين استضعفوا في الأرض. That is, it is the intention of Allah that we have such desired, we such want, that those who have been weakened in the land, we will make them. So weakened in the land. So it doesn't say that of which region, of which nation, of which caste, of which creed, or which culture. It says those of them. Or when it talks about the rule or the universal rule of the pious, of the mu'mineen, says anna al-arda yarithuha ibadi as-salihun, that this entire planet, it is my righteous servants who will inherit it. These righteous servants doesn't say they have to be from Iran, from Iraq, from Pakistan, from the Middle East, from Japan, from China, no, my righteous servants, they could be anywhere on this planet Earth. They are the ones who will be inheriting this land. So Quran says that you have to measure your actions with the actions of the Imam. So you want to measure what you are doing as good or bad, see what the Imam says, what the Imam has done, and what Imam expects from you. So the measure has to be the Imam. All these silly rules that are popping up every now and then, which has nothing to do with Deen, nothing to do with Islam, and they do it in the name of Islam. No, take that ma ataakumur rasul fakhuzu. Quran says, what the Prophet has given to you, take it. And that what the Prophet has given to you, it's simple, it's basic, it's not a lot. A person, he comes to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, and he says, Ya Rasulullah, this deen that you have brought forth, from this deen I can only perform the wajib prayers and nothing more than the wajib prayers. He says that you have asked us to perform these mustahab nawafil, that I cannot do. I don't feel like it. I just do the wajib prayers and that's it. You've asked to fast in the month of Ramadan, that also I cannot. I am so weak and I cannot fast. So fast doesn't apply to me. You said to perform Hajj. I am so poor. I am not mustati. Healthy also. Health-wise I cannot. Wealth-wise I cannot. I cannot travel to Hajj. So Hajj also I cannot perform. You've said jihad. I cannot hold a sword, carry a sword. So jihad also I cannot. You said khums and zakat. Says I'm so poor, hand to mouth, struggling, no savings. I can't pay any khums and I can't pay any zakat. Then he says, Ya Rasulullah, will I ever enter the heaven with this little action and amal that I have? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, he says that you will be with me in the heaven, and then points out at his two fingers. Like these two fingers next to each other, you will be with me in the heaven if you observe three things. Says your mouth, your belly, and your private parts. Says with your mouth, eat, do not consume any haram, do not say anything which is unlawful, don't let anything get into your belly which is forbidden, which is najis, which is haram, and your private parts also. You guard them from every indecency, every haram. You will be with me in the heaven, with me, by me, with this only wajib prayers that you are offering. So every measure of all our actions has to be with Quran, with the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Now in Quran, if you say that there are certain things that you should say, there are certain things you shouldn't say. So what should be said, take it from Quran. What shouldn't be said, also you take it from Quran. It says qulu, says la taqulu. Certain things you say, qulu la ilaha illallah tuflihu. You say la ilaha illallah, you will be prosperous. La taqulu, don't say what? Don't lie, don't accuse, don't backbite, so on and so forth. So there are certain things to be done, certain things not to be done. So you take those guidelines, that prescription from the Quran. What you eat, what you don't eat, Quran has mentioned that as well. Says kulu, eat, and again says la ta'kulu, don't eat. Certain things you can eat, certain things you can't eat. Now when it comes to speaking to one another, again Quran has an ayah, says qawlan layyina, be polite, be kind, don't bash one another, don't shout, don't yell, be kind. Qawlan layyina. Now when we see the seerah of the prophets and what Quran teaches us, says Prophet Musa and Prophet Harun alayhim salam, they were instructed by Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala to go and see Fir'aun. Now who is Fir'aun? Banned, a criminal, the enemy of God, who has stood against Prophet Musa and Harun, stood against God, who claims to be the God himself. Now they are said to go to meet Fir'aun. Instructions given by Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. Now the guidance that Allah gives Prophet Musa and Harun is that when you go to see Fir'aun, don't yell at him, don't shout at him, don't bash him, don't be rude to him, be polite to him. Says qula law qawlan layyina. Both of you will be extra polite to Fir'aun. That is that instruction and command of Allah when it comes to speaking to the band a criminal, band a enemy. Now in places we do have that when someone is being rough and tough, you have to be rough and tough also. If someone is being otherwise, you also have to be kind. So all these guidelines, we see that we have them in Quran, and Allah tabarak wa ta'ala has mentioned that intizar means you follow all of these guidelines. Intizar means you be polite. Intizar means you wait for the Imam in action. You wait for the Imam, just with all these examples that were mentioned. And Allah tabarak wa ta'ala, he will hasten in his return, just like a person he honors, he respects his father whilst he is alive, and the same thing is after the demise of the father. And here Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, he says that ana wa aliyun abawa hadhihi al-ummah, that I and Ali are the fathers of this nation, and in this day and age the father of this nation is Imam al-Asr alayhi salatu wassalam. So if we are respectful to our fathers who are alive, may Allah protect them, give them a long age, then we will be respectful to the Imam alayhi salam. If God forbid we have been we are bad to our parents, to our fathers, then definitely know that Imam also, when he returns, no one is going to be, they will not be good to the Imam. Someone who's bad to his parents will be bad to Imam as well. Cannot say that I am bad to my parents, I'll be good to the Imam. Impossible, because it goes level by level, step by step. Someone who respects his father will definitely respect the Imam. Someone who disrespects his father will disrespect the Imam. So we have to be careful of our actions, and these actions should improve day by day. One of the things that to strengthen this bond with the Imam alayhi salam is that we have to strengthen our bonds with our parents. Now, if they are alive or if they have passed away, something has to be done on a daily basis which strengthens this bond between the parent and the child. And that can be done as a 2 rakat prayer that we have in Mafatihul Janan, reporting from Makarimul Akhlaq, that you offer a 2 rakat prayer every day, intending your parents. Now, when you intend your parents, there are so many on this planet Earth who came here, who didn't bear any child, or who have passed away without getting married, who were solo, who were all alone, who don't have anyone. Remember them who didn't have anyone, and send the ajr and the sawab of this salat to everyone, and in particular your parents. Imam says you offer a 2 rakat prayer, niyat will be qurbatan ilallah, and after Suratul Hamd you recite this one ayah 10 times. So there is no second surah in this prayer. So in the first rakat after Suratul Hamd you recite Rabbana ghfirli wa liwalidayya وَلِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَوْمَ يَقُومُ الْحِسَابِ. Then you perform the ruku and the 2 sajdas. You rise for the second rakat, and after in the second rakat after Suratul Hamd you repeat رَبِّ اغْفِرْ لِي وَلِوَالِدَيَّ وَلِمَنْ دَخَلَ بَيْتِي مُؤْمِنًا وَلِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ 10 times. And then ruku, and then the 2 sajdas, and upon the completion of the salat, after the salam, you would say 10 times Rabbirhamhuma kama rabbayani saghira, that Allah, you have mercy on them just as they had mercy on me when I was little, when I was small, when I was a child. So this is the salat that you can offer for your parents. And even if they are alive, and even they have passed away, in both cases you can offer these prayers for them. When you remember your parents and strengthen that bond with the parents, then definitely that bond with the Imam alayhi salam will be strengthened. That is, Ana wa Aliyun abawa hadhihi al-umma. I and Ali are the fathers of this nation. There is another version of the same prayer. It's easy in the sense that the only ayah to be repeated is a smaller one. So in both the raka'at after Suratul Hamd, you will repeat, there is no second surah, you will repeat Rabbirhamhuma kama rabbayani saghira 20 times. In first rakat, in the second rakat also, after Suratul Hamd, Rabbirhamhuma kama rabbayani saghira 20 times. And once you've done the prayer, completed the prayer, in sajda 10 times you will repeat the same Rabbirhamhuma kama rabbayani saghira. May Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala help us all in being obedient to Him, in being obedient to the Imam alayhi salam, and count us all among the best of the servants, the supporters, and those who seek shahadat in the service of Imam al-Asr alayhi salam. Our children to be enlisted among the best of Muslims. All those who are ill and ailing, Allah grant them shifa. All those who have requested for du'as, Allah tabarak wa ta'ala fulfill whatever hajat, whatever du'as they may be having. Hasten in the return of our Imam. Mu'ajjil fi faraji Maulana Sahib al-Zaman. Any question? I'm here to answer. Yeah, any question you have, I'm here to answer.